Hey guys, Michael Califf, author of A Very Broken System. The middle-aged 52-year-old man who's done more for the state of Victoria, literally, than any politician, mainstream media, police officer, or certainly prison worker or Odyssey House, approved rehab worker. More for the state of Victoria in the last 12 years. And that was from a position of, for the most part, homeless drug addict. Anyway, so after I've just literally trained myself as a 52-year-old man, going against the advice of how a person should be in drug recovery from the Victorian state government, I kid you not, I am baffled at this 30-year-old retired Officer Rock and his cooperator Ape. Between them, they make one big rock ape, ringing up 3AW this morning, the wonderful 3AW, I kid you not, and his advice is literally his best advice after being pathetic at his job for 30 years, after pretending that they're brave and they do all this and they're serving the public, when it's all a nonsense. They lie more than anything. I am so annoyed at that guy. They're absolutely crap at their job, often corrupt in Victoria, literally use drug-addicted women in the most degrading ways, stalk and harass people, boast that they're the gangsters in town, have approved drug dealers as a thing. Like literally, they will have drug houses that they just let run, let sell drugs as long as they can get the annoying, petty criminals, the ugly ones, the addict ones. I kid you not. That is 100% what they do. And if I had more time on my hands, I would go and set up and just film them and show you. Look, there goes another police car. See that? See those 10 drug dealers? Drug addicts just leave that house? See the police car just turn up with no arrest? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what that is. That's a Victoria Police approved drug house. So, knowing that, whoops, sorry about that. Knowing that, when some 30-year-old veteran rings up and his best advice, I kid you not, his best advice to deal with the crime problem that he created, he is responsible for, is to set up facial recognition technology that scans every single Victorian's face, matches it to a database, therefore any crime that gets committed, bang, we go straight around. If it's a bit of a petty crime, what they'll do, exactly as in China, they'll just link it to your bank account and they'll just deduct the money, don't even bother, save on the court costs. I kid you not, this was this peanut, this twit's advice. How about we do this? How about we get some proper advice from our higher ranking members of the police who can explain honestly, instead of talking porky pies that they think they're going to win some war on drugs, be honest to the public. Explain there's a drug crisis. We got no chance of ever arresting our way out of it. 70% of all crimes committed are drug related, and if we dealt with that issue by flipping the switch, we'd solve most of our problems. I could not be angry enough at that peanut, that twit. His advice, this is the type of person, I'm aghast. I'm literally, how disgusting. So what this guy wants to do is turn us into literally a regime on lock, right? Because of all his inability to think outside the box. But not just that, wait. And I thought of this in 2 seconds. I didn't need 30 years of police work. So what happens, right? No worries. We fill this joint with AI, facial recognition. Everybody's got their lives in quotes. Look, we can even set a camera up in houses. No problem. Just like they did when I was on the Melbourne drug court order. Do that. No worries. Then what happens when people just mask up, wear a burqa,
whatnot, just fully cover up like a mummy, then what are you going to do, mate? What are you going to do then? Your whole system is, what? I know. We can just have gated communities. Brilliant. What we'll do is we'll just get people born into prison. Brilliant, Officer Dibble. You, my son, are a fucking star. Victoria Police, you peanuts, you twits, you rock apes. Literally, you ought to hang... Unbelievable, mate. They're the experts. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there training, lifting weights, thinking, listen, can you believe a 30-year veteran of the force, right? I've seen some of these scumbags. I know how to deal with these scumbags. That's the best advice he can give. My God. Speak soon, guys.